channel with me, JB. I hope we're all doing really well this Friday, the 5th of September. It's Friday already. This week has flown by. No domestic football, only international football. Now, I hope we're all doing extremely well today. It's the weekend. For some of you, I know that like myself, who don't work a weekend, hey, I'm here. The menu does random things. Hello, my friend. I hope we're doing really, really well. Scott, morning. JB, apologies for not doing the show last night. Combination of a couple of things. Tired as well, so I just thought I'd give myself the evening off. The greatest YouTuber is back. I do appreciate that. Hopefully more people agree with you on that, or at least the channel is up and coming, and people like the channel. I do have a couple of things in mind just to let you know. I do have a couple of things that when we start gifting memberships, when I'm streaming on the computer, it's really, really difficult to do it in this, but I will be doing it soon. I may do it this evening, or I may do it tomorrow. I'm going to do a watch along for the England game tomorrow, so we will see tomorrow. So I'll if you jump on tomorrow, then I'll randomly give out some memberships, and then let's see. So don't be too concerned. What type of stream is here today? Yesterday it was a food stream, legendary. This is what we're doing here now. What I am going to try to do is when the membership stuff is active, I am going to do some just sort of, I think as Scott has mentioned, Agent Scott, legend of this chat, I'm just going to do some random things on here, just a community chat. We can talk about football, we can go into other different things. I really enjoyed the sort of random chat that we did. We can talk about all sorts of stuff, but I'll keep that more for the sort of members stuff. We can talk about that. What time the English game tomorrow? I don't know what time the England game is tomorrow. Because I should tell you for why. Is because, in fact, I'll tell you in a second. I'm sure someone in the chat, hey, you could check what time England. Yeah, I will check what time the game is tomorrow. I'll have to check that. I'll post it up. Welcome to United Devil member. Look at that, eh? Look at that. Scott, absolute legendary. What can I say, mate? Legendary, my friend. No words, my friend. You are Scott. You are much more than a member to me. All of you guys on here are legend of the chat. Scott, mate, this is member number one. But I really want to be a member. I will look. Do not worry. I will gift it out. This vertical stream does work well. I've got big plans. Don't worry, for a proper stuff behind me there as well. So it's all going to come together. So today, what I wanted to do was, there's not much news kicking around. I mean, people are scratching around for news. So what I did see is on the basis that Casemiro, it is obviously being put out there by Fabrizio, being put out there by some other people. What I wanted to do, probably until the Premier League starts, is I'm gonna leave this. Could I please be a member? As I say, I will, when I come on again, I will do a normal stream, not in this format, and I will gift things out. What's your thoughts on Sancho to Villa? So I saw an interview, Sancho to Villa yesterday. Couldn't care less. You are literally asking the wrong person to on that subject. I will always say this: I don't like to see abuse to players. I don't think it's right. I know you'll get emotional. Players do different things. At the end of the day, they're human beings. I don't know him. All I can say is that maybe he needs to look at himself as a player. He's only 25. And one of the questions put to him yesterday was, do you think that now you're coming into your prime years that you can now kick on, as you've played for some big clubs? What do you think? And his basically response is, he spoke to the manager, to Emery, and he's bought into the project. My question is, why couldn't you buy into the project here? So yeah, Sancho, for me, what's the max views you get on your stream at the moment? It fluctuates. We have had 100, but again, it depends on the time of day. I try to do 1 or 2 streams a day. I think the evening stuff works better for the channel. The vertical stuff seems to work better. So whilst I'm trying to build up the community, I might as well take advantage of the best way to build the community. So the question today, first members and first super chat. Exactly, Scott. Exactly, mate. You are an absolute legend, Agent Scott. Just Scott. You're an absolute legend on this channel. Member number 1, Scott. And we will do some things together, Scott. I've got some plans as well, so I'll let you know. You're going to be more than a member, my friend. So one of the things that I wanted to do with these shows for the next week or so is let you guys lead, right? I'm gonna come up with opinions. I'm gonna come up with a leading headline, not just for clicks, but I really want to ask these questions. One of the questions, and if you're there, just try and get into the chat. This is some of the best chat in this community. Hello, everyone. Have a blessed Friday. Chaka, legend, welcome here. So what I wanted to do is spend the next couple of, however long this takes, I want to be driven by you guys over the next couple of days. I'm going to ask questions and we can debate this out. Ask me questions. I will read out the chat. What's the exclusive stuff that's going to be on the membership? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I want to do for this. CR7 says, hi. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing extremely well. Trump, thumb that like button. Number one. Honestly, your name cracks me up every single time. It is really funny. No, James, we should get Guehi on a free next season to 99 is a sweet deal. Thank you. I wanted to keep the membership as low as I can because this channel is not about. I'm probably the worst salesperson probably to do this, right? Is because the memberships are active. I try to set the price low. There will be content, and to go back to the membership stuff, I want to do membership only streams so we can talk about whatever you like. You get to know me, I get to know you guys. We can talk about all sorts of stuff. I also want to start doing like tier list stuff, so ranking the best midfielders of the club, ranking the best strikers, all sorts of stuff. That's the stuff. And then what I then want to do, depending on the channel, Scott has come up with this amazing idea, and I'd love to enact it, maybe with Scott. And again, that's sorts of stuff. I've got loads of ideas. That let's see how we do. What's the future of Miss? Where from? At least 6 players need to go. Amos, this is what I wanted to do today and talk about that. Casemiro, Bruno, Maguire, Dalot, Martinez and Shaw. I forgot Martinez, but again, we can talk about that today. I would love to be the second member, but let's see. You're also the nicest guy, mate. Honestly, you are very, very kind. Oh yes, please do tier list. I would absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to do some tier lists. I just need to set that up, and again, I think that will be some debate because one of the things about the channel, if you're new to the channel, please get into the chat. Scott knows you guys know I'm not a dictator. I do not own the chat in terms of whatever I say on here. Bobby, welcome, legend of the chat. When I give you my opinion is not is not the final say. So I more than happily will give you, if you ask me a question, I'll answer the question. It's only my opinion, but what I value is your opinion as well. Chill at Play says, hi JB, hello legend of the chat as well. I'll be absolutely gutted to let Martinez go, but if he has another injury riddled season, it will have to be done. Exactly, and this is the chat number one that I want to get into today. So let's talk about next season. So we can't replace these players, so I'd sell Jan just to keep up for now. Exactly. So we can't sell all these players, but I want to put it out there, and I want you guys to lead on this as well. And obviously, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. You know, it really does help the channel. Literally, just a quick like. You don't have to subscribe. Again, I'm the worst person to sell this channel. A sub would be amazing. A like would be amazing. There's super chats. There's all sorts on there, but I'm not going to upsell, so it's up to you completely. Bobby, look at that. Bobby's a member. I mean, you guys, absolute legends. Bobby, what can I say? You guys are. Bobby, welcome to the membership. I'll give you shout outs completely. Just thanks, Bobby. Amazing, amazing stuff, guys. So today I'm going to pose the question. And please get in there. And if this is contentious, let's see if this is contentious. So what I wanted to do is, so we had the bomb squad this season, and I genuinely believe so that this is based on Maguire. This is based on Casemiro leaving. So we know that they're going to go next season. We absolutely know that they're going to see next season. Fabrizio has come out on this one. Now I wanted to say the top of this is, as much as there are players in this squad that I think should go, and I do mind about Casemiro a lot, but I think it's only fair to be a balanced person on this, is that Casemiro, for whatever I think about him, has been a professional. We didn't make him sign a contract. We offered him a contract and he signed. Apparently, about the place, he's a professional. When anyone joins, he's like a father figure. He settles people in. You know, one of the things that I think that is not said enough is that, and I'm guilty of this as well, is that it's really easy to badmouth players when they come to a point in their career where, you know, they're not offering as much as they once did. But at the same time, I think it's really important to acknowledge the stuff off of the pitch. Now, I'm one, as I always say, is that I remember the things that I say. And I've said that we need a culture change. A culture change is as important as the players on the pitch. We need leaders. We need, you know, that drive. We need standards set at this club. And I do really believe that Casemiro does set those standards. Fernandes, maybe not on the pitch as much, but I do believe that he sets the standards off the pitch. So that's one of the things that I think was really important, is that as much as it's really important to critique these players on the pitch, we need to praise players off of the pitch as well. So Casemiro, for me, I think it'll be sad to see him go, just in terms of, you know, the player that he once was. You know, we got a season out of him. Not probably the best deal that we did in terms of the price and in terms of the contract. I'm going to probably destroy your name, so I really do apologise. Dung Tran, hi bro. Hello, my friend. Red Devils, are you a runner? Seen the apologies. Yes, I am. I run and I go to the gym, but a runner, yeah, that's what I am pretty much. Just to let you guys know, yeah, I do ultra marathons, I do full marathons, I do 5, 10Ks, and all that kind of stuff. I've got a marathon time. My best one last year was 2 hours 40. So I'm a little bit handy, and I'm not too bad. There's one thing that I want to do on this channel as well is something called Am I am I fitter than a Premier League player? Right. So I'm reasonably fit. You didn't read my upper message. Did you see it? Let me read it. Sorry, my friend. Hopefully, I go down as a legend in the chat. That'd be nice. You are a legend of the chat already. I will mention you guys, you early adopters, you early believers, legends of the chat. So you are absolutely a legend of the chat completely. Scott says JB has 4 legs. That's why he's so many pairs. You guys do not have any clue how many pairs of trainers that I have. Let me. Where's my camera? There. Let me just give you an idea. So there's trainers there. Okay, there's trainers down there. And I'm not gonna swing by, but there's a box of trainers over there as well. Yeah, there are many trainers so the reason for the trainers is because on my other channel I do review them. So I do review trainers as well. So you know, Scott, some people may say that I've got a third leg. That's just me, by the way. But yeah. Blue Edits, what's with all these people bantering us over Ronaldo? That was 2 years ago. People need to get over it. Now they're laughing at us for letting him go. Blue Edits, this is what they do, right? So there was in the Athletic, there was a tier list, not a tier list, but a list of all the players. Our players got ranked 76 for Cunha, 35, 36 and 35 for Shesko and Mbumo, right? So in one breath they will slate our players, and then in the next breath, in the Daily Mail, they grade the transfer window, and we got a grade B. So what they love to do is they'll praise us just to bring us back down again, and then so what they do is they'll, in one respect, they'll say your transfer business is good, but it's because you spent £200 million and you absolutely should be in like the top 4. So there's always a negative connotation, a negative spin. And then in the next breath, then it's, oh, you're awful, you're terrible, you've bought terrible, you buy awful players. This is what it's all about. They absolutely Ten Hag, apparently Ten Hag is on us. Jose is on us. Ollie is on us because he's been sacked. This club, and I think the statement is absolutely true. Hated and adored, but never ignored. It is just so true. 100% true. Update on Cunha and Mount injuries. I heard Cunha injuries not that serious as initially feared. So an update on that is Cunha. You're right. The hamstring injury may not be as bad, but what they're doing is they're going to get him to run on grass. They're going to do some exercise, some impacts and stuff on grass to actually see how bad it is. So he may or may not be back for the City game. It depends on how he responds. Now, Mason Mount is a difficult one. Mason Mount was supposed to be out for a couple of weeks last season, and it ended up being 5 months. Now, when it comes to Mason Mount, he has, and I've said this, he has a career-threatening injury. It's some sort of pelvic injury that can end his career at any point. So they're going to manage him. So apparently it's 3 weeks. I don't think he'll be back until the next international window, possibly. So I think with Mason Mount, I think we need to err on the side of caution, and I think we need to. I'm going to support these players, and Mason Mount does come into my thumbnail as well as to where I think what we need to do with these players. I'll read these chats and then we can get into that. And then we're just running things. Oh, that would be so fun. I love all of the series. Can you add Amorin to the list? Mark Harris, absolute legend of this chat as well. We can talk about that as well. We can talk about that. No upper message about that one as well. I know Tech Runner is also an amazing channel. Those Tozer earbuds were amazing. Yeah, they are. I love them. I got sent them for free. 23 quid bargain. They are great. Time is KO. Time is KO tonight, JB. Exactly. Time is kickoff tonight. Is it tonight? Is it? I'll do something on that. I chose to ignore them a lot of I chose to ignore them, but a lot of YouTubers I follow are Arsenal or Liverpool. Yeah. Again, I think a lot of YouTubers, and again, this is hypocritical because this is what I do now. Is I completely respect it, right? Because it's a very difficult thing to do, particularly when a lot of it is trying to give an opinion out. But I've always said this. My opinion is I try to be true to me, right? And I think people sometimes become a caricature of themselves, and they're not really representing themselves because they think that's what people want. I will always be authentic to myself, and I'll never play up to camera. And if people like that, then that's fine. If people like an exaggeration, but I think there's some amazing content out there. I think people are now spoiled for the amount of content, and I think there's something for everybody. MILF number one. Letting Ronaldo go, much like De Gea, was the right call. Issue lies in who will replace them and not being shut the door. I agree. What accent is that? What accent is that? MJ88. MJ88. Mate, there's nothing that I can do about my accent. It's a secret Manc accent. If that's a little bit of a diss, feel free. But there's nothing that I can do. So, I'm not going to change my accent. If you don't like it, then that is up to you. I think I speak perfectly fine. I think I'm quite clear. Feel free to turn on the subtitles after, but there's nothing that I can do about that. I think you're trying to be a little bit of a troll. Feel free to move on if you can't understand me. JB is a JS secret Manc. I am. I read Lucha is back in the team training and might be on the bench for the derby. Nah, 100%. 100%. Not true. He's not going to be back, my friend. He should be back now. I think he will. Maybe he is on the bench, but he's no way playing. No way playing. He's not going to be back until, I think, end of October, November. Don't forget he's been out for a year. ACL, as you all know, is quite bad. So I think he's just trying to get up to speed. Hopefully he'll be back. I want to see him play. But I think that it's going to be too soon. But we just don't know. Maybe he's going to be unleashed. It's Blue Edits, thank you. Then we're just running things. It's fine if you don't become a member. Just remember, I think you, the nicest YouTuber, an absolute legend, and the greatest. Thank you, my friend. At least somebody thinks I am. Blue Edits, what is your goal? You can't give memberships on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. You can do random ones. So I will do 3 United managers sacked on the same day. Ten Hag was basically just a pre-season manager. I'm going to stop you there because I think it's irrelevant that our ex-coaches are being sacked. Now, the media want to make a big thing of that. It is an irrelevance to me. It's the rhetoric coming from the media. You could look and you could probably find managers of old clubs that are not doing particularly well, and you could make a whole thing out of it. We are the most relevant thing, so they're going to do that. Lissandro return date is October. I think the smart play would be to let Mount go and sell him, even at a significant loss. Better to have an inferior player available than a better one injured. Exactly. Mark Eamon says Mount should stay. So let's get into this. So if we're looking at, would you sing Mourinho's back as the manager? No, 100% not. I do not want him back. He's not coming back. I'm not even thinking about that. I would absolutely not. Mark Himman says, Maguire and Casemiro leaving is past due. Thank you for your service, guys, but your time is up. They're going to go. I agree. So let's get into it. You guys are making some good points. So I wanted to start off and now just get your opinions in on who you think you should leave. And I'll give you my opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, this is not I don't have the final say. I'm not going to criticize your opinions. This is about opinion over fact. So where I'm going to start off is Casemiro. As I said, Casemiro I think is a good guy. I think he's been a good servant behind the scenes. As I say, I think it needs to be a balanced approach for me. I agree with you, Mark. I think Jose should retire. I think Jose would be a good international coach. Part-time manager. I think he'd be a good coach. Portugal, I think, is perfect. Casemiro, really, really good around the place. Legend of a player. I don't say that lightly. Not for us, just in the game. The last 15 years, one of the best holding midfielders in the entire world. Fantastic. Served his purpose. I think this will be his last European club, and I think he's earned that right. Not his fault that we gave him a massive, massive contract. So good luck to him. He's one of the players that I wish well. Could we have got some money for him? Maybe. But he's one of the players that I don't begrudge running his contract down. The things I've heard about him are professional to the end. So I don't, I wish him well. And he's going to go. Maguire, I think, will go as well. There's a temptation to offer him a 1-year deal. I'm not so sure he will leave. I think he will leave. Where is the button to become a member? I think it's there somewhere. My friend, I don't know. Is Maguire and Casa leaving? Yes. Yes. I do think Maguire will go. It really does depend on if we replace him with a centre-back, but I do think that he's going to go. Very much like Casemiro, dollar sign at the bottom right. When is Shesko going to start matches? We didn't sign the guy for the bench. He should be first on the list in start 11. Mark, we'll come on to that as well, my friend. I think you make a good point. So for me, again, Maguire, the redemption arc of him, not in terms of necessarily being a pivotal player, but Maguire has, what I respect about him is the criticism that he got is absolute virgin on, disgusting. I've been a critic of his. I think his price tag, I think, is probably part of the reason. If we'd have gone for 50, still high, but I think that people would be able to suffer that a lot more. But what a redemption. Reliable, comes up for corners. He's the sort of player that I would, again, I agree with you, Mark. I applaud him for that. I applaud him for coming back. I applaud him for just, he could have crumbled. The captaincy was taken off him, which I probably think was the right thing. I think it weighed heavy on him. But to go through all that, I think he'll be one of those sort of like cult players. Under Fergie, I think he definitely would have played as well. He would have been that sort of that O'Shea type of player. He definitely reminds me of O'Shea. He comes in for the team. He he does that job. He doesn't mind being on the bench. Doesn't moan. Doesn't whinge. Complain. Redemption. I like him a lot, and I wish him well if he goes. Now, one of my bone of contention players, Luke Shaw. Again, Luke Shaw is not. So we can talk about the player and we can talk about the sort of person. Not that I know him, but obviously some of the things that I've seen is that Namini says Napoli looks scary this season. They do, but we're not even in their league, and we're not even in the Champions League. But they do look good. But the Italian league is I think it is a little bit down in the Premier League. I'd even argue Spanish, maybe the Bundesliga as well. So let's see. I think Napoli domestically will do extremely well, but Champions League wise, I'm not too sure. Okay, simple question to gauge United. Is there a player that Real Madrid or Barcelona would buy right now in the first team? Mark, I think that's a bloody good question. I think that is an absolute bloody good question. And when we're looking at selling these players, or maybe some of the players that should go, I think, Mark, as always, I think that's a great question. So I think that, is there any in our current squad that would play for Real Madrid? I think that Euro, maybe not right now, but Euro I think would be a welcome addition, and I think he'd go into my only caveat to that gauge, Mark, and I get that. I think you should probably offer that out to, say, for example, City, Liverpool, PSG, because Real Madrid, the Barcelonas, no disrespect, but they're good in their domestic league because they get to play Elche and they get to play Mallorca and all that kind of teams who are basically on an island. So I get it from that perspective, but I think the more pertinent question is, would they get into a Premier League team? I think Euro would. I think Euro would get into a Premier League team. I think, mate, I do think. I think that De Ligt is a very underrated player, and I do think that he would get in. He's only 25, 26. I think he would. As for the rest of the team, Amad, I want to come on to him as well. I'm not sure. Maybe he'd get in for Arsenal, maybe Chelsea, but again, I doubt he'd go to Madrid. And we'll come on to him as well. Dalot, definitely not for me. Even though Madrid were after him, not for me. I don't think he gets into any of the top side. Dorgu, possibly, maybe in a couple of years. Cunha might. I think Cunha would. Cunha would. And would Mbumo. I think he would. Those players are. But the thumbnail players, let's talk about those. So I'm mainly to refresh. With Martinez, he is De Ligt and Euro in the back three of starters. Mark, we can talk about him as well. Refresh and have a look, definitely there. The vitriol from fans, that's a great word, towards Maguire dropped once he was no longer the captain, a regular starter. His mental strength is to be applauded. I agree with you. You won't be able to get a membership if you have parental control. Euro is a good shout. Question, are you happy or sad that Garnacho left? Mark, I think for me, I'm not happy or sad. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself because I questioned Amorin. And some of you may go, well, you should have questioned him. I'm disappointed because I supported a Garnacho on that instance and couldn't understand why Amorin turfed him out. I'm disappointed with the attitude. I'm disappointed with the behaviour. I'm disappointed his attitude towards the club, towards the fans. So I'm not happy or sad. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm happy he's gone, if that's what you're asking, but I'm just disappointed. I'm confused by the player. I'm confused by his ego. I'm confused by his entourage. I think here would have been the best place for him. I think if he'd have got his head down, I think he could have done some good stuff. But I'm glad he's gone. I think he thinks he's bigger than the club. I'm happy he's gone, but I'm disappointed. I think my post is glitched. Try on your phone. Limpuani, and I'm so sorry. Hey, memberships are available here. They work worldwide. Limboni says, hey, hey, too much money for me. It's 100 rupees, only 80. Listen. What I'm going to say on here as well is that memberships are active, super chats are active, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that is the when I say repercussions, but that's not the correct word. It's basically when the channel gets bigger, it's the success of the channel. It's for you. Do not come here thinking you have to super chat. Do not come here thinking that you've got to subscribe. I will read your chats out until if there's a point where the chats become too quick and too much, then I may have to kind of think about that. But one of the things that you will get here with me is I will try to read out as many of your chats as I can, because I think that's really, really important. So there is no pressure on here to subscribe. Subscription likes are fantastic. So subscribe is different to subscriptions. But if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you want to give us a thumbs up, that's more important to me. But of course, you guys can do what the options are there for you guys to do what you like with. Damon says, hi, hello, my friend. Mark Emmons says, Garnacho is exactly what we don't need. I agree with you. He is my number one hate watch this season. Delict to take him out versus Chelsea. Poke that like button. Exactly. It really, really helps us out. How much longer will you stream? Until... I don't necessarily put a number on it. I go through the stuff, and today I can't make it streams all the time, but I feel so sad. Honestly, that's the beauty of this, is you can go back and watch over the streams. You don't have to apologize for leaving, my friend. Thank you for being here. Catch up on the stream later on. Yeah, thank you for being here. So I think to push it on towards Luke Shaw, guys, quick, let's have our 11 to start. Okay, let's do this then. See you later, my friend. Legend, completely. Okay, so I'd go... Lamens for me is the one. Do you put Lamens in goal? I say yes. And there's an argument to say that, look, do you want to... Let's let Binder be in goal. Let's put him in the firing line for this game. Because if Lamens has a terrible game, I think the fans will support him. I will. I'd rather just put him in goal and just live with it. I'd rather put him in goal, live with that. He knows he's got the support. Give him... Keepers need confidence. Okay? They need to be played into form. And I think the more he plays in this back four, I think the better. I would play him. But there's an argument to say that don't put him in the firing line just yet. But when have we been that club? I mean, we've been that club for the last 13 years. So De Gea, when he came into the club, people forget that Fergie put him in, young keeper, and he played him into form. He just said, look, you're my guy. You're going to make mistakes. And that's what we need to do. I think we just need to play him, give him confidence and say, look, we're going to give you time, opportunity. Let's just put him in. That's me. People will, the media will come out, if he has a bad game, I think people will try to destroy him. Mark Evans says, Lamens, I agree. Luke Shaw, I don't want him playing, but I think he will. Delict, Euro, Dorgu, Casemiro, Menu, Mazraoui, Mbeumo, Bruno, Shesko. Do you know what, Mark? I don't disagree with that. I think I'm with you on that one. Lamens, yes. Luke Shaw, questions on him pace-wise. I think City will attack that side. I think what's happening with us at the minute is down that side, what you really should have is defensively, you should have Dorgu, Luke Shaw, and then one of the midfielders like Casemiro supporting that side. So you've got those three supporting. Casemiro is not agile enough for me, but yeah, I get it. We're going to get caught out on that side, 100%. We always get caught out with the ball between the centre back and the wing back. I'd probably like to see Heaven play there over Shaw, but I think you're right. Shaw will start. De Ligt, Yoro pick themselves. Dorgu picked himself. Casemiro. I would probably like Mazraoui in the centre midfield position. I'm just going to put that out there, and I'd play Amad just to give us that pace, because I do think we need to hit them on a counter and pace. So the only ones that I would change, I think Michael team's spot on. I think you're right. I think you've nailed the team. I think Sheska will start. The only people that I would personally change, it's not going to happen, is I'd put Amad on, Mazraoui for Casemiro, and Heaven for Luke Shaw. Damien says, get Lemens, be worse than what we have to put him to the test is only... Exactly, I agree with you. The menu says, some people are saying, bring back Sir Alex, let the poor man rest. He's 90. I think it's very toxic. And I'm not saying that you're toxic. Your opinion isn't toxic. I'm talking about the people that want to bring him back. I mean, the guy's had a hemorrhage. You can't bring him back. It is ridiculous. Fergie's not coming back. You're right. He's 80 something? No, not for me. And I think you're right. I think those people that are saying that, I just think that they're just trying to be toxic. Mark, I agree with that lineup. As soon as Martinez is back, so Mark. Okay, so let's get into this as well. So I think that's a really great discussion on the team. So let's pivot slightly. So Maguire, we've been through that. Casemiro, we've been through that. I was going to talk about Luke Shaw, and I will come back on that. But I think let's go to Martinez. Mark, I think Martinez needs to go. His contract is up I think his contract's up in a year. His contract is up in a year. I'd sell him. I would say let's get him playing. So Alex will always be known as the greatest, but he will never coach. Exactly. He's too old, but he's earned his retirement. Sir Alex is a legend. He can't do it. He can't do it. Pradeep says, hi. Hello, my friend. So for me, let's talk about Martinez. Sadly, I think Martinez has been too injured. What is it with the Amorin haters? The stats show that we are better. Exactly, Damon. I agree with you completely. We are better, but managers don't get time. Ferguson, to go back to the previous conversation there, Fergie had 6 years. I know it's a different time, and we shouldn't look back necessarily on that time and do what we did. And this fan base is starved of success. And I think more than that, this fan base is starved of not necessarily success, which is true, because I demand to win the Premier League every season. I demand the Champions League. But because I think that's what we're going to do, and because I'm an idiot, it's basically because we need to have those standards. Okay, I think Amorin does have those standards as well. But the guy's not even been here a year yet. He's not got his players. What's he supposed to do? All this Amorin hate stuff. And I'm never going to say that people are wrong for their opinion, because there are people on here that have that opinion, and I completely get it. I do get it. And I don't think people on here hate him. I just think that there is I get the stats also back up. So the stats back up that we're better. The stats do also back up. Pradeep, subscribed, mate. Legend of the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing. It really does help us out. Legend, thank you so much. But there also has to be an acknowledgement from me, because I'm not just one side. I have to see the grey, I have to see the black and white, and I've got to see the grey. Is that his stats also back up that we've not won back-to-back games. So I have to acknowledge that as well. So I acknowledge people who are Amorin out. I don't share that, but I can see why. But people who talk about hate, or who hate the manager, I think that talks more about them than what is correct. But I think you raise a good point. Do you reckon ACL injury is the end of Lucha? Cash in and the monster goes on looking like he was never injured or keeper. Well, Mark, I think, my friend, that is a very, 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 very intelligent, very logical statement to make. I don't think we can take chances anymore. He's 27, 28 now. I think Lucha is done. Not necessarily because he had the ACL. I think someone said that Wirtz at 22 has come back from an ACL. Van Nistelrooy had an ACL. Van Dijk had an ACL. So many players that have had an ACL. More often than not, people who have an ACL, not always. Solskjaer had one, and his career was ravaged. The problem for me with Lucha is the last 2 years he's barely played, and he's been injured twice. And I think he's done. I hope I'm wrong on that, and I don't just say that because I'm being an arsehole, and I'm not just saying it because I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I do think that he's done. I don't like to say it. I really don't, and it's just an opinion. And I hope you're right, Mark, that he comes back and he's a monster and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. I think let's get Martinez playing this season. Let's get him playing. Let's see how he responds. Don't forget, he'll come back. He'll probably be injured again. I think we get him playing, and then I think we sell him. I'm of that opinion, because we cannot, for me, take chances. Mason Mount. We can't be a club now that hopes. We're all living right now on hopes and dreams that we finish 5th, 4th. We're just hoping that teams around us are going to not have a good season. We're hoping teams around us are not going to be the best. We can no longer think like that. We have to move on from being that club. So I would get Lucha playing again. I'd want him to play well, and then I would sell him on. I would definitely not renew his contract, or I'd only renew his contract a year at a time. That is where I'd go on that. But Mark, I hope you're right. But Martinez, for me, has to go. If he comes back, then maybe I will reconsider that, because that's the beauty of opinion. You can have an opinion now, but you can then change that. So that's where I'm at on that, Mark. But I think I agree with you. I think let's see how he does. Damien says the problem is with pundits. They have unresolved issues since their playing days. Exactly, my friend. Pundits, Carragher, for example. How can you take? So, Mark, when Carragher says that Lucha's too small to play, okay, he's 5'10". I'm 5'10". I wouldn't be a centre back, but Martinez has proved that he can do it, and he's proved that he can do it in the Premier League as well. So, people do things for hot takes. You're talking about a guy who spat at somebody, and I'm never going to let him forget that. Was driving in a car, flamed up and spat at someone in a car. But it's he comes out and he apologizes and whatever else. Yeah, people shouldn't be held by their mistakes. But he's a pundit. I just think he's disgusting. I can't stand the bloke. I don't know him, but he's not for me. And not because he's a Liverpool guy. I've never liked him. Not good enough, in my opinion. average player. Was there any surprise that with him in the team they didn't win Premier League? I mean, he's not exactly the tallest either. He's like 5'11", 6 foot. He wasn't the tallest, so he should know. He played centre back as well. So for me, no. I agree with Scott, Mike Harris, Damon. The problem is Amorin is not qualified to be the manager. He's Crystal Palace. Mark Harris really makes me laugh, but his opinions are I think are really a valid opinion. Now, Mark, where I semi-agree with you on that, West Ham were looking at him. I think Amorin would have been beneficial, maybe like a Glasner, to go in at a Crystal Palace first. I get the rhetoric behind him because he beat City in the Champions League and what he did at Porto. Yes, fine. But does Mark Harris have a point? Should he have maybe gone to a Crystal Palace first? I don't think he should have gone to West Ham. I think West Ham would have destroyed him. But I think a Brighton, Crystal Palace, I think maybe he should have gone there first. So one thing I agree with Mark on, and I'm not Amorin out. You guys will learn to know that I support him. I absolutely back him. I've backed him when people on here were calling him X, Y, and Z. What I'll say and what I'll always say about him is that he's 40 years old. He's still learning his system himself. He's still not acclimatized to the Premier League, I don't think. I don't think he was expecting the Premier League to be as competitive. How can he? You can't know until you come and experience it for yourself. So when you're playing in the Portuguese league, it's very, very, very different to coming into this league where every single game is competitive. Every single game. Even if structurally and tactically, some of the teams like Leeds are not quite there, physicality-wise, they are. So I think he's learning on the job. This is why I do agree. Maybe he's come too early. And also, I think you look at Amorin, is there any wonder why coaches get better as they get older? Just because they're able to adopt and adapt the tactics. Amorin in 10 years will have his system will be different. It might be similar to what he's playing now, but Amorin in 10 years will be a better coach. And is there any surprise that coaches get better with age? There comes they peak, right? Coaches tend to peak. Pep, for example, is Pep now over that peak? People have worked him out, and Pep, can he adapt? I think Pep is struggling. I think the game has moved on completely now. And Jose Mourinho, his tactics don't work anymore. You've also got people like Pep as well. So you're starting to see, these coaches and the tactics. So Amorin is not at his peak. And where I do agree with Mark, maybe he should have gone to Crystal Palace first. But Arne Slot is the opposite of that, right? So, I don't disagree, Mark. So when Keshwa, welcome, my friend. What I noticed as we create a lot of chances that we waste Bruno as the biggest chances created, for example. So clearly we are creating chances. We need to stop wasting them and scoring the ops. So I agree. Bruno, all these stats about him, I get it, right? He does, but the eye test, in some respects, doesn't lie. He's still petulant. He's still ill-disciplined. Does he create more chances because he's ill-disciplined on the pitch? It's okay to use the stat in terms of, yes, I do agree that he's created most of the chances, but is that through he's not disciplined enough? It's not as if we're winning games 4-0. It's not as if people are not scoring against us. So what I'd much rather see from Fernandes is less creation, be more disciplined, and concede less goals. So I'd much rather let other people spread the chances across the team. Bruno be more disciplined. That's what I'd much prefer to see. Maybe if he could reduce that back by 15%. I still think that we will create, but I still think I'd much rather see a better midfield and less chances created by Fernandes. Zlatan had an ACL, exactly, but Zlatan, I think, is a different animal altogether. I think, but again, Mark, let's see what happens with him. But right here and now, I would probably sell him based upon injury record over the last 2 years. And let's see. I think he's one that I'm not sure on. Here and now, I'll say I would get him fit and sell him because I think he's done. But Mark, I hope you're right. Scott says 4th is a reach. I think 5th is our place. I think, Scott, I think you're reaching, my friend. But I still think. Do I still think 8th or 9th, 10th? I think 8th. Falcao never, exactly, Mark. So then you've got the adverse. Falcao never recovered. My personal disappointment. Falcao in his prime, I thought was brilliant. I do agree. So let's put a pin in him. I'm not sure. I think he might be done, but maybe, I don't know him physicality wise, how good he is. I don't know his numbers. I don't know. Let's see. If we wanted a new centre back, we should have gone for Tar. He's a beast, or Upamecano. Yeah, Jonathan Tah, though, I saw a game where we got absolutely blasted, but his positioning is good. I think we need another Euro. I do. United like cheap. I agree with you. Never world class. Hoyland, Shesko, Lamens, Amorin, Ten Hag were never world class. We need a Park. Park is quality. I met him, Lily Shaw, and I can confirm he's a. You just know it, right? If we didn't get him, he would have been at City this season to replace Pep. We gave Sir Alex time. This is what I agree with you, Scott. I do agree. I think he would have gone. I think he would have gone to City, and I think he would have been good at City because he would have had his players. I think at City, he would have been a revelation. But we've brought in a manager who we don't play the system, low IQ players that are not fit and ready. Amorin is fighting against it. I'm done with Amorin. Sorry, Chief Herb. Valid opinion. Traveller Max says Bruno should have been sold. I agree with you in some respects, where I agree with the statement. I think the money for him would have been valuable, but unless we were going to spend it on the team and bring in tons and tons and tons and tons of players, which I don't think we would have done, I think replacing Fernandes would have been difficult, but we needed to invest that in the team. So I said that as well. I'm with you. I would have sold Bruno and got rid of players, but I don't trust Ineos and the football side to have done that. So I'm torn. I am torn. Pepatitis, that what Pepper's given to his washed team, 100 million for Traveller Mac, agree with you. My only caveat to that, I agree with you, 100% do. I think, Traveller Mac, we would have got 120, 130 million for him. My only problem now is after seeing what we've done with the player sales, if we had have potentially put that into the team and bought 2 centre midfielders, a centre back, and another right wing back, I would agree with that statement. Where I slightly pivot from what I said originally is that I now would probably not have done it because I don't think we would have replaced these players. So I'm with you in spirit, but I just don't think we would have spent the money. So fully agree. Amorin has shored defense because we're not scoring. We lose or draw. Watching from Pakistan. Thank you, Pray. So other players I wanted to mention, and this is going to be a bone of contention, I think. Amad. Let's talk about Amad. Amad for me, if we would have sold Bruno, the money would have been in the pockets, and that's exactly, Scott. That is exactly it, my friend. I did say at the start of the window that I would have sold him, but knowing what we know now, I think that would have been a mistake, because I think that the Glazer would have pocketed the money. So unless they were going to invest in the whole team, I think keeping Bruno is the right decision. But I do agree with Mac. I'm torn. If we'd have invested it in the team, sell him. If not, keep him, because there's no point, because we would have just got absolutely smashed. And then wanted people say we need a centre midfielder, but Cunha replaced Bruno as the cam. Bruno is the new centre midfielder issue. He cannot play there. He's on Amorin, who wants to keep him. I agree with you. Number one, I've been of the opinion that Amorin and Fernandes are linked. Their opinion, their futures, I think, are linked together. Amorin, I've always thought this will live and die on the decision for Fernandes. Ten Hag had it with Rashford. Bruno played every game despite how he played. So I think Amorin's going to live and die on Fernandes. That was his choice. And I think you could be spot on with that. So, yeah, I can't disagree. I cannot disagree. Chief Herb says I'm 30% close to supporting non-league FC United. 50-50. Yeah, Scott, I agree. Bruno would definitely go next summer. I think he will. I think Bruno leaves and we get his old captain from Sporting. Amad. I want to drive the conversation towards Amad, and the reason why I wanted to do that is because I think Amad is an interesting one. Now we've got a load of number 10s. We can argue that Amad is one of our better players, one of our better attacking players. I'm going to say something controversial, possibly. I'd sell Amad. How many shoes do you have? I've got about 40 pairs. I think about 40 pairs of them. Got another channel, and I review sometimes, so I get sent them. Sometimes I buy them. I reckon I've got about 40 pairs. Imelda, JB, Marcus, and one extra for his third. Exactly, Scott. Exactly, mate. You know, I've got to buy 2 pairs every time, and you know, I just use 3 of them. So you know, selling Amad is a strong take. Number one. Now, the reason why I would sell Amad, what if we swap Amad, and I don't disagree, Damon, but for me, why I sell Amad, and this is not because I'm just trying to be the third leg shoe is a gift and a curse. It really is, mate. You know, it really is. You know, it really is a curse. You know, I paused the third leg with Scott. You know, having a third leg is, you know, it is cumbersome. You know, trying to get things to fit. You know, people stop and stare. You know, it's a curse. It's a curse. Oh my God, what have we become? What have we become, guys? Yeah, I don't think the wife would agree with that, but that's a different story. Anyway, so Amad for me, the reason why I would sell Amad is because, as Mark Harris said, have you seen the Lonely Island like songs, right? There's a song called Three Way, right? And there's a part in that where they do that, the Yeah, check it out because it's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Um, matches the Cockney. It does, mate. It does matches the. It does, Chief. It is. It's the. All right, geezer. UK 9 means something else now. It does, mate. I don't have, but it's not true though. If you've got big feet, I don't have big feet. Doesn't really matter about the size of the feet, mate. Anyway, how have we gone down this debauched topic of conversation? I love it though. It's funny. So Bruno to Saudi next season. Al Nassr making a Portuguese contingent. Yeah, but again, my caveat to it is we have to have the money into the team. That is my only caveat to that. So the stream is funny. Bro had me in tears. And what can we say? We are funny in this chat. So I'm just thinking, guys, I want to talk about Amad, but yeah, man, I want to know what was the closest brand tonight for running. You guys turn this comment. Yeah, what's the closest brand to Nike? Now, what I'm going to say about Nike is Nike is really comfortable on the third leg. It's really, really comfortable. The best ones for me are Noosa tries the one-eyed meat monster. Oh my good lord! He lost the train of thought. Scott's to blame. I just got images now, which is wrong. I'll answer the trainer question. What is only for 2 legs for us regular humans? I don't mind. Listen, you guys can spread the rumor of my third leg, and I happily do it. I don't even know now in my whole life. What are the best trainers other than Nike? I think Nike are not as good as people think they are. Obviously, you've got the Vaporfly, Alphafly, 250 quid for a pair of shoes, 300 quid. I am going to say that Alphafly #1 for me is probably the best all-round running shoe that I've ever had. Asics are very, very good as well. Hoka, not all of the Hokas, but some of the Hokas are very, very good. They're not. I prefer Asics exactly. Asics now you've got the Paris Sky. You've got all sorts of things there now as well. There's a brand actually called Mount to Coast. They've sent me a load of trainers. The Peanut Protector Runner 5000. Oh, I can't, mate. Pegasus and the Windflow from Nike are great for running. I agree. Pegasus, I've actually got a pair of Pegasus on actually. They're a bit old now, but Pegasus. Because I'm a child, I've got the Easy Fly zip things on these, but Pegasus are good. I've got some Hokas up there. I've got the Adidas Pros as well up there. The Magnum Gork 3000. Oh, you guys are cracking me up. Absolute legendary status on here. I've got the same shoe in black, legendary. What have I got on here? I've got all sorts. United don't want to have a team morale, just Amorin take them down to the local morgue for team talks. Oh, Mark, you do crap me up, mate. Golden Pair is my choice. Casemiro needs a third leg for playing 90 minutes. Lend him your leg on the weekends. He can have mine. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is going on? Better check what the third leg has got on. Exactly. It's not used that much these days. Because I've got kids. Anyway, sometimes the flavoured ones. Jesus Christ. Oh, what are you doing to me, guys? Casemiro is making bank at this stage. He would smile change in the toilet roll. I think Casemiro. I mean, for 300k, I mean, I reckon he's sweeping the floors. I mean, I reckon he can't believe his luck. I reckon he's washing people's boots. I reckon he's. I've just got an image now, Mark, of Casemiro in a pinny, and like an apron, and he's got his little hat on, and he's got like his gloves, and he's like bleaching a toilet, scrubbing the toilets. I know for 300k a week, mate, he's just loving life, isn't he? He's banking. I don't blame him though. Tea Lady Casa, exactly. I reckon he's there serving the teas and coffees, mate. He is loving life, isn't he? So Amad, my take on Amad is this, right? And you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, but I don't think Amad is going to be the world-class player that I think is. Now, I know he's playing wing back. I know he is, right? I know he's playing wing back and he's out of position and he's a number 10. But I don't see Amad as being better than the new number 10s that we've got. And Amad for me he's still young. I would cash in on Amad. I would. I think that the way we're playing, when the hell are we going to see Kone play? Awful game. Come on, Amorin, stop the Portuguese bias. Apparently, Kone is considered number 6 in the pecking order. I want to see Kone play. Mark, I know we've had this conversation before, and I've, said that, players are young, maybe we don't want to burn them. But can Kone be worse? I mean, I don't want to play Kone too early. I don't want another Mainu situation on our hands. I do think at the moment, Kone is a bit of a cult following. Kone for me is a bit of an unknown. I want to see him play. I do, but I don't see him getting game time. I just don't see Amorin, as you say, with the bias. Is he going to get in front of JB? Is considered as number 9. Kone didn't go out on loan, so what's the problem? Exactly. He's obviously not, and you may not agree with this, Mark, which you want. It's obvious to me that Kone's not up to speed yet. He's a young lad, and we can't chuck him in. I would, if we had more of a United players need a Squid Game rules match to play with their hearts. I would like to see he has an excellent pace. I don't disagree, Mark. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to give you some logical reasons why Kone can't play. This is for me what I wouldn't play him just yet. Is because is he used to the men's game? Can he imagine chucking in Kone at this age? Are we going to burn him? I don't know. But is he ready? He could be ready. I just don't know enough about him in terms of playing yet to say, yes, he's good enough or not. The fact he's not gone on loan, Mark, I agree with you. I don't know. Do we take that chance? And this is the first time that I can't give you a logical opinion on it. I think it basically just put him in and see what happens. Could we chuck Kone on the field before relegation comes? If that comes to it, which I don't think it will, then maybe we'll play him. I just don't know. I can't read Amorin. I can't read him. Maybe he does play. So Amad for me. Get your opinions in on Amad because I want to know what you think of him. Try him for a game. Exactly, Scott. I think try him for a game and exactly, Damon. Exactly, Damon. Try him for a game. What's the worst that can happen? Kone may be set back by the head injury, a sign perhaps that he's not ready for the physicality of the men's game. As big as lad he is, Amad is all right, but he's no wing back. Chief Herb, I agree. I think we should cash in on Amad. I like him. I like him, but is he better than the two number 10s that we've just bought? And I don't think he is. I think Amad would do really well in La Liga. I think Amad would do really well in the Bundesliga. Amad would do really well back in the Italian league. I just don't think Amad's got levels to grow. I don't. I just don't. I get a feeling with some players, right? Not that sort of feeling, but I get it's so heartening to see United downfall with the same time Liverpool rise. So, Cyber Warrior, thank you for the comment. As we always say on here, banter is welcome, and as long as we are respectful to each other in the chat, which I think that comment is absolutely fine. That speaks more about you. If you're sorry, Cyber Warrior, I read that all wrong. And I apologise. I read that wrong. It's so heartbreaking to see, exactly. I misread that because I've got a mind full of third legs and whatever else that we've been talking about. So, Cyber, I apologise for that. I read that completely wrong. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Ignore me. I need to stop thinking what I'm thinking. I agree with you. Loan him. He's still young. Amad's older than what he claims to be. I doubt he's 20. I look Liverpool 30 years to where they are. I see Amad and I look at him and I go, some games I think absolutely brilliant player. But I just don't know. But why is your mind full of third legs? Well, it's not on third legs necessarily. It's just on what we've been talking about. He needs some milk. I don't know. My friend. Cyber, where I'm from, Malaysia, I really want to see United add 7 more Premier League titles and 3 more Champions League. Mate, I would take that tomorrow. Yeah, I really would. And welcome to the chat. I apologise for misreading your chat. My excuse is that, as we've said, why is my mind full of third legs? Just ignore me. I do need some milk. Just ignore me completely. Completely. I just don't know about Amad. I would personally cash in on him. I don't see where he fits into this team currently. I think part of the reason for me why to sell Amad is I think he's too good. I think he's too good not to play every week at number 10. I really want to see Sabrina Carpenter by my side on a long drive. I think you can't be changing my mindset, right? Jesus, just you crack on with that. As images, you're doing it on purpose now. I can't get involved in that. Well, literally, I can't get involved. Strap up and go for a run, mate. Honestly, it's really heavy, mate. Well, Cyber, I was just there a week ago, mate. Nice city, good food. Ladies never use my third leg. Got to be respectful. My lady friend around. Fergie, look at Aaron bringing on defenders to get a goal and Maguire up front must be. I don't disagree with them. But then again, Mark, you say that Fergie used to do that with O'Shea as well. So I'm not going to hold that against him. Ferguson used to put loads of players up front. So I'm not going to hold Amorin accountable for that. Was good enough for Fergie is good enough for me. Strap up the flyees and run. Yes, I will. I don't tier master. I don't get that, but that's fine. Barry says, I'm shocked to hear anyone want to get rid of Amad for progression reasons or otherwise. He's a few players that have shown growth in the last seasons. I think the reason why, for progression reasons, let me tell you my reasons why, is because part of me, I think he's too good not to play as a number 10. Our system, if he's not playing as a 10, doesn't suit him. So what are we going to do with Amad? He's not a wing back, 100% not. So my reasoning, really, thinking about it, is the reason why I would sell him is because I think you'd bring in a good amount of money. Tier master, mate, just get out. Get out. Absolute get out. Scumbag, get out. For me, if he's not going to play as a 10, where does he fit? And what are we going to do? Have all these assets sat on the bench? Amad's going to get unhappy. The problem for me, and this is where I kind of want to learn some lessons, right? I think we need wing backs. I think we need centre midfielders more than we need another number 10. Now, yeah, you can argue Amad can be the backup and can play as a number 10, but how long is Amad going to wait? Amad went on loans. Amad's been away. We can't loan him out again. How long until he gets annoyed with this coach or the fact he's not playing, and then we will devalue Amad again, so he's going to end up going for nothing. Also, when his contract's up, if he's not playing, then we'll go in a free. So my reason for thinking about Amad is he needs to play. Where is he going to play? So I'd much rather get the money in to get the positioning that we need. But then you could also argue, and I will admit this as well, is that if Amorin walks or Amorin isn't here and somebody plays a different system, and then we play with wingers again, Amad's there. I'm very torn. I'm very torn. It's not, I don't want him to go because of the ability, not because I don't think he's good enough. He's one of our better players. But how long until he gets annoyed? If Amorin's going to be here for 2-3 years, like we all think he is, where does Amad feature in that number 10 position? And that's my worry, is that we'll lose another young player because he's not getting the game time. And that's pretty much it. I mean, JB need a baby carry for his third leg when he goes for a run. I need a baby Bjorn, mate. Do you think Amad can be used as an 8? No, Damien, 100% not, mate. Number 8, no. I don't think he can. But again, what are we doing? Are we putting, and I'm not disrespecting your opinion, are we now putting square pegs into round holes? Amad for me is a 10 or a winger or that left or right forward player. Putting him as a wing back, I feel sorry for him. I do. And I think the talent could be wasted here when he could be plying his trade elsewhere and we could have the money for him. So I'm conflicted. I think it's a waste for him. And how long until he's annoyed? He may not be annoyed, but how long until he gets annoyed and then he goes on a free, or he gets tapped up by another team and he goes on a free? That is my worry about him. I'd rather not lose another talented player for a cheap amount of money, I'd rather sell him and get the players that we actually need. Do you think Chief Mejraoui will be better there and Amad should be more like a super sub? And again, that's the problem, Chief, is Amad going to be happy as a super sub? I think Amad is better if he's playing all of the time. I think he'd be better. You do make a good point. But how long until he's bored? Amorin was funny saying that Manu is a fighting for his place with Bruno. Amorin has a picture of Bruno in his toilet. I think he's got a picture of him in his wallet. Who had the bigger downfall, Coutinho or Sancho? That's a very, very, very good question. I think that Coutinho's price tag was a problem. I would probably say Coutinho has had the biggest downfall at the moment because Sancho's only 25 and Sancho can redeem himself. Sancho can still have a good career. Coutinho fell off and I think the price tag weighed heavy. So I would probably say right now Coutinho, but Sancho could not be too far behind. Amorin's using his third leg for Bruno's picture. I bet he is, mate. I bet he is. Barry says, how do we possibly build depth with a negative thing? Amad is certainly no better than Gakpo or Ekitike. But one of them will simply see plenty of bench time this season. We can't win if that's the case. Barry, you're making a good point. But the problem is that is Amad going to be happy? So if Amad is happy on the bench, you're right, we need depth and strength. 100% agree with that, and I cannot disagree with that. But you look at the players that we've lost. You look at the players that are not happy. Will Amad wait on the bench? And that's my question. Will Amad wait on the bench for his turn and give himself time in this team? I'm not disputing the talent there. Amad is a talented lad. Absolute talented lad. There will come a point though in the next couple of years where if he doesn't progress, possibly there's a conversation to be had there. But how long will he wait for his chance? If Amad can force his way into a number 10 position, then fantastic. But how long does he wait? And this is the problem: is can we afford to let him? And this is not about ability. This is not about can he do it? I believe he can. But where does he fit in? This is my only thing: is where does he fit in? So Barry, I asked you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if Amad wasn't happy? And I get the impression that he's not happy. How would you feel losing him on a free? If you could sell him next year for 50 to 60 million pounds, would you rather do that, spend it on the team, or would you rather lose him for nothing or lose him for a pittance because he's not happy? That's all I'm saying in this one. Amorin's need a new pair of runners like the Nike Zoom vasectomy. Oh, don't even get me started on that. There comes a time in every man's life where you've got to think about that, and my time's coming. So Damien says, who would be your best comparison for Paul Scholes type of player? That is what we need. I think Paul Scholes is irreplaceable. You need a hard tackling, passing master. I don't think one exists. I mean, you guys can correct me here, but I think that sort of Scholesy, Xavi, Iniesta player. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think that I wouldn't necessarily try to Paul Scholes comparison. I would probably... I would go with more pace and power. I'd go for a Belieber, someone like Stiller. I'm sure there's some others out there, but I'd say Cole Palmer. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think Cole Palmer is very Scholes-esque, the position that he plays, that sort of attacking midfielder, likes to tackle, likes to pass, can score goals. I sort of think Cole Palmer, but you get in your suggestions. The amount of game time Sancho's been missing because he's been he's Peter Griffin at this point. Your manager is scared to drop Bruno, same as Vinny and Mbappe last season in Madrid. When JB goes for a run, he leaves an indent in the ground. That's why I get the funny looks, mate. That explains everything. Berkey Mern 16. I have a request from you. Can you tell I don't trust you, nor can you tell Paul quickly? No, I can't do that, my friend. No, I'm not going to do that. Because I'm not stupid. Bruno will sack Amorin, let it play out. Bruno sack Amorin is crazy. What happens next when Bruno starts to slow down next year? He'll go to Saudi. Before Amad, we got to get rid of Shaw, and we'll come on to that. Steeler would have done us solid. He was too stingy. Cole Palmer is amazing. 99 years of contract locked in. We'd be lucky to get him for 100 million. So we've done Amad. I've given you my reasons for him. It's not based on ability. It's more so based on losing him for a pittance. Luke Shaw, for me, needs to go. Luke Shaw, personality-wise, I don't really know, but there was a post, wasn't there, about him being cocky on a New Year's Eve about money and all this stuff that got attention. I'm not overly bothered about that. But Luke Shaw for me Luke Shaw for me is, he was good at the time, but I think he needs to go. Didn't play for 2 years, suddenly was fit for England. I think he's got his own agenda at heart, which I get it. I think he portrays a false image that he likes this club. I think he does, but I think he just sees it as a payday. For me, Luke Shaw, get him gone. If we get to a point where Amad isn't happy, it means we found a better fit for the position. In that case, let him go. As of right now, I'm not convinced he isn't that happy even out at position. I get it. JP got his own portable walking dick. I do, mate. I do. Like, whenever I'm tired, can use it as like a kickstand. It's easy, mate. Easy, mate. Yeah. Luke Shaw for me has to go. He's only going to get worse. Time is not going to be his friend. He's one tackle away from an injury. I think we get him fit and we try to sell him. That's my opinion on Shaw. I think he needs to go. Mason Mount as well. Mason Mount for me. This chat is unhinged. No, it really is unhinged. This is more of a later show tonight, but we can continue it tonight. At this point, Scott, let's have an Armenian conveyor belt. Mason Mount for me needs to go as well. I think that Mason Mount, as good of a player as he was this season, I think he's flattered to deceive. Luke Shaw paid his dues. He needs to go. I don't think Luke Shaw has paid his dues, mate. Relaxer says, hi, bro. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing really, really well today. Yeah, I hope you were doing very, very, very well. Absolute legend. Thank you for being here. United's downfall started when they changed over to Rooney. Big up to Alex. Big up to you, my friend. Hope you're doing really, really well. Legend. Thank you for being here. Absolute legend. So thank you so much for being here, my friend. Luke Shaw, for me, has he earned his dues? I think injuries haven't been his friend. The big one got his own skipping rope. Exactly, mate. Easy, innit? I just got to tie the end or let someone hold it and let me skip, mate. I don't think that Luke Shaw has earned his dues at all. That's your opinion. I'm never going to dispute that. But for the amount of money that we've paid him, the amount of game time that he's played, I don't think he's earned it. I don't think he has. I think he was one of the best young talents, one of the best players. I wish him well. I really, really do. I wish him well. I really do wish him well, because he's not one of these players that I want him to go because, he needs to be in the bomb squad. He's going to bleach his eyes after this morning chat. I'm going to I'm going to purge my brain. It's funny though. It is funny. So Luke Shaw for me needs to go. I wish him well. No, I don't wish him ill. I think he needs to go. Newcastle would have been better with Francesco. Possibly. I think he would have played. I do. I don't disagree with that, but he'll come good. I mean, look, we've played 3 games this season. I mean, the guy's not even played yet. So, when he starts, we'll know he's going to be fit. I've got to love the chat. Absolutely do. You chats are legendary. I love it. Yeah, so Luke Shaw for me has got to go. I will wish him well. I don't think he's a bad egg. I think he means well. I think he's deluded a little bit in terms of some of the interviews that I've seen talking about winning the league. I think sometimes I think he's just, yeah. But I wish him well. So on that bombshell, I am going to go. I've got stuff to do. I will be back tonight. I will be back this evening, and it'll be a late show, so we can talk about whatever we like tonight. I will come in with some sort of topic tonight, and then you guys can lead the chat tonight. Whoever's in the chat is going to be wondering why we'll be talking about third legs and all that. Wait till 9, no pun intended. Wait till 9. Exactly that, guys. Guys, amazing show. I love doing these shows. Sometimes these morning ones are a little bit hit and miss. They're always a hit in terms of the chat. Absolute chat. Welcome to the members. Thank you so much. I do want to start shifting over to like a mainstream, but I might wait until I've set this up, which is going to be done very, very, very soon. But yeah, thank you so much for being in the chat. I'm not going to do my zesty this morning. It's feisty this morning, isn't it? It's a little bit feisty, which I like, which is all good with me. So big up, guys. I'm not going to do my normal ending. I'll save that for tonight's show. But you guys are all amazing. As I always say, is that this channel is nothing without you guys. Is nothing without the chat. Nothing without the members. I mean, legendary. You guys, whether you're here for a minute, second. I mean, this chat is fantastic. We get bigger and bigger and bigger every day. Don't underestimate the impact that you have on the channel, the impact that you sort of have on me as well, and of each other, because you guys come in now and I don't know if you guys know each other from different channels. Vukum fan 420 says Amorin out. It means that I hope Kone makes it. I do it as well. Vukum, I disagree at Amorin out, but that's your opinion. Valid opinion. But I think I disagree, and I think the majority of it. We're apart from JB's Members Club. Legendary Members Club. We're getting bigger. We've got at least 2 now. I will be giving away some memberships as well at some point. British should have gone to Saudi. Vukum, yeah, you've come to the chat late, my friend. But yeah, agreed. But he's not going to come now. So, guys, have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, day, whatever you're doing. Take care of yourselves, because I want you here in the chat tonight. Yeah, I will see you tonight. Those of you who can make it, please, again, pass this out to as many people as you can. Get them to come into the chat. My mum's Amorin. Is she mad? No. I think that your mum is very, very sensible. I think you need to listen to your mum. mums make sense. I think, you know, I'm sure you're. I'm sure you, I'm finding it really difficult when you talk about mums, right? I just go back to my school days. When you talk about mums, I'm 42 years old now, so I'm going to leave the whole mum thing. But Bukem, listen to your mum. Your mum knows best. Your mum likes clearly good-looking men, shape Matt. Clearly, you know, tell your mum to watch this channel. You know, I've got to go. I'm going to say something, and I don't wish to be rude, but there are so many mum jokes and things. I can't do it. Strap up and go for a run. I will. But yeah, guys, I mean, amazing. I will be back tonight, and we can escalate this chat further. Come in with your topics, whatever you want to talk about tonight. Let's try and let's keep it so I don't get banned. But yeah, guys, legends as always, always. I'll see you later on. JB's the missus wouldn't be happy with that, so those days are over for me. Yeah, I no, there is a number one hunter on here, so I've got to give it up to him. My hunting days are well over. Scott with his wife watches. Is that my wife is the only lady for me. Been with her now for 13 years. Yeah, I mean, technically she is a MILF. Yeah. I'm going to go. See you guys soon. Legends of the chat. And I'll see you later on. You guys are absolute bloody legends. I love this chat so much. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.